Alright, so this video is going to be going over strategies on being on a battle map. This is just a virtual example. We'll be playing with physical maps and miniatures. So this is just to get a good bearing of what combat might look like and some things to think about. Now, to preface, things are going to go differently depending on the battle and the goal of the battle, right? It's not just kill all the enemies dead. Sometimes there might be an ulterior goal that needs to be accomplished, and also like your guys' skills and abilities and how much you want to use or save for later. It all depends. So each battle is going to look different, but these are just some like base things to think about as far as strategy and positioning. So the first thing is starting out here. This is not a good look. This is what clustering is. And so this isn't great in the sense that if we have a spellcaster that's going to launch like a fireball or lightning bolt that could hit multiple enemies in a target, that's called an AoE spell or an AoE effect. Certain creatures like dragons have breath weapons that could go in a line or a cone that could really take out a lot of HP by way of hitting multiple targets. And so this sort of puts you in a tight spot. Sometimes, depending on how you guys start combat, like how it kicks off or where you guys are, will, sometimes this might happen. So it would be smart to be like, oh, we think we're going to be getting into a fight here. Maybe we should spread out. And you could be like, as in character, be like, yeah, I'm gonna just like move around the back over here, because if you guys say it's like, yeah, we're in a group, I'm gonna start combat with you guys in a group. So that's where roleplay could come into that. Yeah, so clustering, try your best to avoid that or rectify it once combat starts. Something else to think about is cover. So let's say we have our spellcaster here, and Mr. Pingus is dove behind cover with his gun. So now this is increasing Tingus's AC, right? Right now it's 18, depending on if you're using quarter cover, half cover, or 3/4 cover. It'll increase the AC by a bit, and so it's just harder to hit. If you have full cover, then they can't hit you if they need line of sight with whatever weapon or spell they're using. So it's good on the map to find cover in ways like that to avoid those complications. Other things to think about is flanking. It's a way to give advantage on for like different attacks. So let's say we have this creature over here, we have our monk over here. So now because they're exactly opposed, like across, this is flanking. This is not flanking. You need to be directly across. You could be diagonally across, but it has to be going like this. And what that does is it would grant advantage. So Tingus he came over here, did an attack, and then the monk came over here, and now he gets to attack with advantage. What that means is you get to roll the d20 twice and take the higher number, and so you crit. Ignore the addition here. That's now there. So you roll an 18 and then at 20. So with that, and I'll go over critting at the table. So without the advantage, he probably would have just hit, but now he gets to do a ton of extra damage because of the flank. On that same token, moving into this spot, you now have these two monsters that can get attack of opportunity here. Flanking, and then they get advantage. Speaking of attacking of opportunities, that is a reaction. We talked about that in the general video. And so what that means is because we're in the threatened area here, right? So they have a 5-foot reach. You're within 5 feet. You move out. They get to use their reaction for the round, if they still have it available, to make an attack. So that's something we're thinking about. Some characters or classes have abilities where they could use a what's called a disengage as a bonus action, which means they get to nullify the opportunity attack rule there. Everyone else would have to take a full action to disengage if they wanted to do that. Some larger creatures such as this aboleth here, might have a reach of like 10 or 15 feet with its tentacles, depending on what it is, and that means it's so if it's 10 feet, its threatened area is over here. So if you're here and you try to get away, it could then lunge at you as you're trying to escape. I think that's it for like the basics of some strategy here. Sorry if I muddled my words a bit, it's a little late. But yeah, looking forward to this. So there's some things to think about, and when I go over the individual classes with those videos for you guys, you could start thinking about what you have and how you could apply it to sort of help your allies or further get more efficient with how you go about fighting. So thank you, and I'm gonna go on to the next videos.